Greetings, everyone. Pete Pardo here from Sea of Tranquility. Welcome to another episode of the Professor's Picks alongside the man himself, Mr. Ken Golden. What's going on, man?
It's a sort of cold and crappy Friday morning.
That it is. That it is. It was almost 90 degrees the other day, and now it's like in the 50s and
In the 50s, yeah.
chilly and
I'm cold.
raining. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that kind of spring so far.
No, it's
Spring.
been kind of a, yeah, weather-wise, it's been kind of a shitty spring.
Yeah, I think they're calling for here up in the Hudson Valley. We got rain through most of the night. Right now, it's not doing much of anything, but it looks like maybe about noon to 2 o'clock. It's going to start. I don't know, full day. Whatever. Whatever.
Yeah. Chad and I are going to see Al DeMille tonight.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I'm going to Saxon and Uriah Heat tonight. So everybody's going to shows tonight. Pretty cool.
I bet you'll be eating better food than Chad.
Well, we're going to a taco place in Peekskill. The taco, the hell's it? I can't even remember what the name of the place. Some new place that's up on the roof or something. I don't know. The taco. I don't know what it's called. So the whole bunch of the Hudson Valley Squares folks are meeting up there. I'm like, okay, well, wherever. I'll go wherever. Hey, you say taco, I'm there. That's all I care. The tacos or pizza, I'm in.
We're going to the Keswick in Glenside, PA. Nice little town, and the restaurants there suck.
No good, huh?
It's always slim. It's slim pickings. I think we're eating in a Greek place.
I know I went to the Keswick once, but I don't remember what I saw there.
Well, did you ever go to? They used to do Rossfest there.
I think that's when I was there. They did but I only went to one Rosfest. Wasn't because I thought I went to Rosfest at the Colonial.
That's where it started, at the Colonial, and then he moved it over to the Keswick for a while, and then he moved it out to Gettysburg.
I'd have to look because the Rosfest that I went to was, I believe, in 2007.
That could have been the Colonial.
So I think it was the Colonial because I go to the Colonial all the time now for the
Yeah.
Horathon Festival, and I like the Colonial and I love that town. I think the town is great, but I could have sworn I went to the Keswick at least once for something, and I don't know why I would have gone unless it was Rosfest. So maybe I've never been to the Keswick. I don't know.
By the way, I think we all missed the boat moving to Phoenixville. Phoenixville is like exploding now.
Oh, the town of Phoenixville is a lot of fun. There's so many great things to do
A
there.
lot of breweries, restaurants.
Restaurants, yeah.
15, 20 years ago, there's a lot of boarded up stores.
Really? Oh, now it's that whole little strip. It's only like what, 4 or 5 blocks. There's so much to do there.
Yeah. No, it's nice. I have some friends that live over there.
Yeah, cool.
There's distilleries now, and there's all record stores. There's all kinds of stuff. That's cool.
Yep.
But anyway, Glenside, nice little town, very nice. And on the main drag, there's places to eat, and they all kind of blow.
Oh well. Can't win them all, right?
No. So the music will be good. So
Yeah, well, that's the important thing. Al DeMille never disappoints. So he's pulling out the Black Beauty, I think, for this tour, right?
yeah. So this week we got stuff. It's not an incredible week. It's not a bad week. Got some really good cheap shit. So we'll get to it at the end.
Okay, cool.
So, no pre-orders this week. Restocks. We have some stuff on the way. Facanus, the Yorgos Facanus, that's going to be coming back. Actually, that'll be here probably next week. We did get back in some things that blew out of here, like Nexus, from Argentina. Some of that stuff. Those are gone. Yeah. Sorry, guys, you missed that. And actually, we do have some of the older Nexus tiles, which we haven't had for a long time. But yeah, it was a relatively quiet week, but we have some stuff to talk. Cool. So we'll hit the alphabet. We'll hit the regular CDs. And here's what we got.
For everybody asking, Prezi is working today. Woo-hoo!
Yeah, look at that. I don't know. You may like it better if I just hold up the CDs. I don't know. So we got Prezi working. So the new one from Accept, Humanoid. I'm not much of an Accept fan. I can't tell you a lot about Accept other than
it's a good album. I reviewed it this week. It's a good album. Good solid record. It's not gonna change the world, but it's a good solid latter-day Accept album.
There you go. Staying with that theme, new one from Freedom Call, Silver Romance.
Happy Power Metal.
Yeah. It's got a rainbow on the cover. I mean,
It does. Their album covers are always great.
yeah.
I
So
find they're a really good band. They're a little too happy for me.
there you go.
issue of Freedom
You're
Core.
like a little more evil in your metal, huh?
Yeah, this is a little too, ooh, people love it. I'm not knocking it. It's just not for me.
So here's a band that I haven't heard in a long time. They used to be a great band. I know they've had some lineup changes. I haven't heard this yet. The new one from Ivanhoe, Killed by the Sun.
Wow, that's a blast from the past. Holy cow.
They were they
Their
were
early albums are really good.
really good. I
Yeah.
know they have a new guitar player. I think a new drummer. I haven't heard it yet, but it was pretty good. In back in the prog world, actually, there's a lot of metal this week. Back in the prog world, the new one from Mandaki, Soulmates, A Memory of Our Future. Leslie Mandaki, he's a composer, musician, very popular in Germany. He has a long history, Hungarian musician, I believe. Just a long history of successful releases in Germany, and he's doing these all-star projects. If you can see from display, Ian Anderson's on here, Al Di Meola, who we'll see tonight, Mike Stern, Randy Brecker, Bill Evans, the sax player, Tony Carey from Planet P, John Helliwell from Supertramp, Simon Phillips, uh, Richard Bono, the bass player, and other guys. You can see. So it's kind of like Prague, AOR. Did
Yeah.
you listen to this one yet?
No, I haven't heard the new one. It's on the way because I spoke to the PR group that works with them. But I've heard and reviewed the last two. They're good. I know a
Yeah.
lot of people really dig them. I mean, there's really nothing bad you can say about them. It's just lots of singers. It reminds me of kind of like a more AOR version of like an Arion project, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good way of putting
Good.
it.
I mean, there's so many people that play on these, and you hear when everybody has their little moments of shine. It's all liquid. But it's good songs. It's not
Yeah,
really rocking. It's not prog. It's not metal or hard rock. It's kind of like it's like
a little
melodic.
of everything.
Yeah.
The cool thing, well, I'll hold it up, it'll be reversed. The cool thing about the vinyl, which I'll pick, is that it's the album was recorded analog, and this is absolutely all analog, beginning to end.
Wow.
Mastered analog and plated, and so sounds sounds generally speaking very good sounding. So I expect it's going to be good.
And their packages are really nice. Like they God, I think for the last album they sent me like the press kit and it came with this big book telling the whole story of everything behind the album. And it's just gorgeous looking. Yeah,
I think the thing is that he's very successful in Germany. I think that's like the target audience, and it gets distributed elsewhere. I don't think Inside Out has huge expectations for big sales for Mandaki Soulmates in the U.S. But I assume he does quite well in Germany and Eastern Europe. So. Oh, moving on back into the metal world. The new one from Annette Olsen, Rapture, the former singer from Nightwish.
great.
She's a good singer. This was a collaboration with Magnus Carlsen. He's basically he's like the house writer for Frontiers.
Yeah.
He's like the man behind the curtain for all these Frontiers.
Great guitar player. He also plays guitar for Primal Fear. He's
No, I mean, he's good. So based on the cover art and the song titles, my assumption is that this is a Christian themed album. I could be wrong. I'm sure if somebody knows more about it than me, they'll comment. Haven't heard it. There we go. Pete, you'll tell me more about Riot because I haven't heard Riot in a long time. Now they're Riot V.
Yeah.
Riot 5.
Yeah, and I don't know whether that's just stands for their fifth lineup or I don't know. They couldn't just use the Riot name anymore, so they tacked the V at the end of it. But I heard a few songs from it a couple of weeks ago. I was with Rich Catino. We were driving around in New Jersey, and he played me about half the album. Sounds really good. It's does it sound like classic Riot? Yeah, that's debatable because most of those guys are no longer with us. But is it a good melodic heavy metal album in 2024? Yeah. It's catchy, great guitar work. It's what I heard I really liked.
See, you're driving around New Jersey, you get to hear that shit,
Yeah, that's what you get when you drive in the Catino mobile, right?
I'm gonna appear ignorant. Was that Mike Facera? is he the singer in Riot?
Uh,
Like in ancient times,
yes.
but not anymore.
No. Yeah, they're two classic singers, both passed away. And then Mark Real, the guitar player, he also died a few years ago. It's just they've had a lot of deaths in the Riot family, unfortunately. But so I don't even know who is playing in the band now or who, who makes up the lineup. I could probably look it up um while we're talking here. So if you want to go on to the next one, I'll find that
Yeah,
information.
sure. Next one is a pretty cool prog project called Seorm Nekyaya. Nekyaya. It's a collaboration between the main guys in October Equus, the Spanish band, Spanish prog band, and two of the guys. I think it's the rhythm section. Not 100% sure, from Vespero, the Russian space rock outfit. So it's kind of like a sort of like a meeting of the minds. You get sort of like a proggy, spacey thing, and so it's got kind of like a Crimson, like a King Crimson feel to it, and quite nice.
So back to Riot real quick. So the current lineup is Don Van Stavern and Mike Flint's on bass and guitar. And I guess those guys have been around since the Thundersteel era.
Okay.
So they're the longest tenured guys in the band. So there's no original members in Riot anymore. You got Todd Michael Hall on lead vocals, Frank Gilchrist on drums, and Nick Lee on guitar. And those three guys have only been in the band since the 2000s. So basically, Mark Real passed away, guitar player, Guy Speranza, vocalist, passed away. Lou Kavaris, guitarist, passed away. Rhett Forrester, former vocalist,
Sure.
passed away. Yeah, so most of their key guys from back in the day are no longer with us, sadly. But if you look at the list of people who have been in this band over the years, it's
So,
ridiculously
so no original members,
no original members
and,
left.
and no Bill and no Billy Sherwood.
No Billy Sherwood.
Uh,
Nope. Poor Billy.
yeah. So all right, so Sea Arm is a nice prog album, and yeah, I feel like it's got kind of like a bit of a crimson edge to it, kind of nice. This was one I was looking forward to. The new one from the Tangent.
The Tangent One.
Hmm?
The Tangent One.
Yeah, actually, yeah. Is it? I think it says the Tangent 4-1. Andy Tillison, and he's playing everything on this
Yeah.
album, as opposed to the previous ones where he had all different people playing. It's more of a band thing. This one's just a solo effort, but the sound is pretty much sounds like I was listening to it before. Sounds like the Tangent.
Well, he's the driving force behind the band. So
Yeah, he does all the writing anyway, so
yeah.
it's got kind of a well, Canterbury undercurrents, but
Yep.
it doesn't bludgeon you over the head like that Tom Penguin that I offered last week, which we still have, which I think is fantastic. That one is like just pure, straight up like caravan worship, Half Million North, National Health. This less so. It's got, it's more contemporary. So we have two versions on CD. We have the regular standard CD, and then we have the CD media book, which I understand has like a 17-minute bonus track. So, and I think he's done that before. So it's, yeah, selling quite well. So that's probably the going to be the prog highlight for the week.
Okay.
Unleash the Archers, Phantoma, female-led power metal, Canadian band, correct?
I think so. Yeah.
Jim says yes. So yes. So again,
People dig them. I've never listened to them, but like a lot of people really enjoy that band.
every release we sell more and more of their stuff.
Yeah, yeah, their popularity is definitely growing.
Yeah. So Jim says Brittany is an incredible singer. I will take his word for it.
I will as well.
So the next batch is we got in a bunch of releases from the BGO label. BGO, very, very good reissue label, been around forever.
Yeah.
And they have a huge catalog, and they do very, very high quality reissues. They touch on all different genres.
Yep.
I'm focused on the prog stuff, but they're all over the maps, and not too dissimilar to, let's say, what Esoteric or Repertoire records does. So I picked up a bunch of titles, and I'm going to mention that we've sold through or down to small quantities on certain titles, which I'm not going to mention. But I've set up what I've done is I've set up a section on the front of the site. It'll say BGO, and you'll see a few titles that
Roll towards the bottom, everybody. They're all
yeah, you'll right underneath the featured releases. You'll see a little section. Click on it. You'll see everything that's there. And but these are the highlights, the stuff that I have a little bit of a little deeper stock on. Dregs, Free Fall, What If, Night of the Living Dregs. I believe that one is a 2 CD set. And we also have Dregs of the Earth, Unsung Heroes in industry standard. So if you want to, two CDs, you got 6 albums there. So, well, save a little space on your shelf,
Yeah,
So,
save you a
but
little space, and you get the bulk of all their classic stuff right there.
yeah, that's the classic 70s, 80s stuff, really, right?
Yeah.
And but they do a really nice job, PGO.
Packaging is good. You get nice booklets with all sorts of information on the band and the albums. Yeah, you can't go wrong with these BGO.
Yeah, they're reasonable, like $16, and double. I think I'm pretty sure these are double CDs. So. Next, we got Gentle Giant. It's Gentle Giant, Acquiring the Taste. Nidrolog, were kind of a weird, quirky prog band, in spite of Harry's Toenail and Lady Lake. I mean, it's a great title, right? In spite of Harry's Toenail.
And a great cover on Lady Lake. Look at that.
Yeah. And kind of hard to describe that band.
I mean, I'll tell you how I got introduced to them when I started getting into Gentle Giant in the early 90s.
Yeah.
It was in, I think, the Gentle Giant fan magazine, which was Proclamation, I believe it was called.
Yeah.
They did a whole write-up on this band in one of the issues, and they were basically, if you like Gentle Giant, you'll probably dig these guys. So that's when I went and bought both of those. And I think if you're a Gentle Giant fan, specifically the first couple of albums, you'll probably like what you hear on there.
I agree. There's a quirkiness about them.
Yeah.
And there's a little bit of like folk in there.
That Baroque medieval type of thing going on.
Yeah.
And the bass player is a guy who is probably pretty familiar to most people, to Pat Travers fans. Peter Mars Cowling was the bass player in Gnidru.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. There you go. So was he at the SOT convention?
No, he passed away. That would have been cool though. Great bass player.
I would, yeah.
No disrespect to David Pastorius. David's awesome, but yeah, no, Mars was a great bass player.
So these Nidrolog albums, they're quite good. It's the only 2 albums they made, and there were 2 brothers in the band. They went off and did one of them play in Tull or no?
I think they guested on a Tull album, but I don't think they actually joined them.
And actually, though, yes, I think these guys they would guest on different things, and that's another thing. Like if you like sort of the folkier side of Tull, I don't want to peg these guys as a folk band, but there is that element.
Yeah. I mean, good band.
All right. Also got in Steve Morse Band, the introduction and stand up. Return to Forever. We got Where Have I Known You Before and No Mystery. And those albums, Where Have I Known You Before and No Mystery, I think the standard CD versions, I think they're out of print.
Probably.
And that's
still Polydor versions, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So maybe there's some expensive Japanese reissue or something like that. But for like, $15, $16.
Can't go wrong.
You can't go. Not much vinyl this week. And one other thing I should say, we're gonna keep, based on the feedback we're getting already on these VGOs, we're gonna restock them. I mean, so if something disappears, it'll be back, with some frequency. Next thing, just knocking out the vinyl. There's not very much. We got Mandaki Soulmates. One thing, for some reason, my JPEG did not load, but it's actually a big deal. An official reissue of Mirthrander, For You the Old Women. You remember Mirthrander?
Oh yeah.
So, did you ever see them play? When they reunited, Alan Benjamin was playing guitar with them, and so I got to see them.
Didn't they play one of the festivals?
Yeah, they saw them. I saw them at Rossfest.
Yeah,
and I know they did a bit of shows, and I remember that the singer had this porn star mustache that just big Fu Manchu thing, you know. So anyway,
I gotta watch Scott's episode because I know Scott over at the Prog Corner had the surviving members of Mirthrander on like a week or so ago. I gotta check that out.
yeah. So Mirthrander, they were
Good
one
band.
and done, basically a one and done uh, U.S. band. I think New Jersey,
Yeah, New
and
Jersey.
very much, very much in the Gentle Giant and symphonic prog direction. So we got in 10 copies. They blew out of here, and I have 10 more copies showing up today in clear vinyl. Comes with a bonus CD with unreleased live recording and a big booklet. And I know this because somebody asked me to ship it without take the LP out of the sleeve. And I'm like, oh, look what's in here. So there's all kinds of cool stuff inside. And yeah, I'm sorry I don't get to. No, I thought I had it loaded, but use error. The Tangent, we have the vinyl, and now it's time for the cheap shit, and we got some really good cheap shit this week. Most of this, not all of it, most of this is sort of in the gray area. Kevin Ayers and the Whole Wide World, Picnic broadcast, July 30th, 1970. I believe Mike Oldfield is in the band. This is what I want to talk about a little bit. Coacha. This is not a gray area. Coacha, it's called Volume 2, Bakasiwa. So Coacha is his first name. Gastellium, I think, is his last name. South American or Mexican dude. He played in the Dap Kings. Did you know the Dap Kings? Sharon Jones. She passed away. Daptone Records. She was an amazing soul singer, and he is the sax player, one of the sax players, and she passed away. Label's still going. Daptone is still going. These are solo albums. This is his second solo albums. Volume 1 and Volume 2, cut from the same cloth. I got unbelievably, stupidly cheap copies of Volume 2. I think we're selling it for $6. So what is it? He is this great sax player. He plays an electric saxophone, uses a wah-wah pedal, and it's very tribal sounding. There's a number of percussion players on here, electric piano. I mean, this thing's very rhythmic, but the playing is like totally treacherous, and the sound on this thing is phenomenal. Really, really well recorded. One of those albums where, man, you could just start placing everybody in the sound stage, and it's funky. It's funky, and I wouldn't call it jazz rock or anything like that, but it's ethnic tribal funk, and it's all instrumental. It's phenomenal.
Like Miles Davis on the Corner.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, no electric guitar, there's no
Right.
drum or anything like that, but it's not, it's not
1DC maybe, something like that.
yeah, it's not too far removed from that. And if you like that kind of stuff, I think you would like this. And yeah, it's kind of got some hooks to it. And yeah, like I said, it's one of my reference recordings, and I play it, I play it for guys when they come over here, and something that's totally unexpected. And yeah, oh man, the drumming on this thing, there's all these percussion. Oh, it's great. It's $6, and you need to buy it. It's just great. So I burned a lot of copies. Jump on it. More bootlegs. Alice Cooper, concert broadcast, 1969, 1972. Nice and early, right? Miles Davis, So What? It's a broadcast from 1971. I don't remember where that one was recorded. Kind of a standard set list for him. This was an oddball choice. I thought I'd bring in some copies. The Firm, featuring Jimmy Page and Paul Rogers. I saw them, Madison Square Garden. I have no memory of the show.
Jimmy probably doesn't either.
Yeah, that's probably true. I know I was there. It was Madison Square Garden, but I don't remember it. Was that Tony Franklin? I think
Tony Franklin. Yep.
Yeah, and the drummer was the dude from
Chris Slade.
Yeah. I can't tell you who opened. I can't tell you. I remember they didn't do any Led Zeppelin songs.
Yeah, they were pretty firm on that. Yeah, pretty firm on that. Get it?
Yeah. All right, another cheapie. Again, we're following the alphabet. Pentagram.
Ah, great album.
Curious. Is this a good album?
Oh, yeah.
Doom metal. I mean, I know them. I know they're a doom band with cheap copies. And like, yeah, let's offer it.
Yeah.
So, how old is this one?
That came out, it was in the 2000s. Got it 10, 12 years ago. I
Okay,
forget exactly what year it was.
I think we have it for like $6, something like that. It's cheap. Procol Harum. This is for Chuck Alvarez. The European broadcast, 1971 to 1977. Roxy Music, the Stockholm broadcast, 76, which I think is actually the Why Do You Think I'm a Funky Chick uh, recording, which was a famous bootleg. It was actually an audience, like a great audience recording. And there were like a half a dozen, maybe 5 or 6 releases on that label. There was a Black Sabbath, there was a Roxy Music. Can't remember the other ones, but they all go for a lot of money. So we got a Santana British broadcast 1976. Supertramp broadcast. What broadcast? London 1977. Now, one other thing as far as cheap shit that I'm not going to go too deep on, we got in restock of overstocks from Snapper. So we've got like 50 titles in 45, 50 titles. You got to go plow through it again, there's a section on the front of the website. There's all kinds of stuff on Kscope, some Peaceville titles. There's stuff like Anathema, Steven Wilson, No Sound, Pineapple Thief. It's all different stuff. Thing with Kscope and all the Snapper releases, they keep churning the catalog and then they repackage the stuff. So one day it's in a jewel case, and then 3 months later it's in a digipack and it's a different price point. And so they offer up these older versions. They sound the same, and often they're better packaged. The CD DVD goes away and it just becomes the CD, or they split it into a CD DVD. So we get all these deals, we'll constantly offer these deals on Snapper stuff, and we just got a very big restock. So it's worth plowing through there. There's a lot of bargains. There's really good music.
How did the Nightmare record stuff go?
It's going, but we have so much of it. So we haven't sold out of any titles, but they're going. So yeah, again, on the front of the website, I've got all these little sections set up because we keep getting all these situations, all these deals, and I wanna spotlight them. So yeah, so all the Nightmare record stuff, I'm staring at it. It's here and it's going, and you shouldn't sleep on it. So
By
yeah,
the way, that Pentagram Curious Volume album came out in 2015, so a couple of
okay,
years ago.
yeah, it's not even that old. So, and the last thing I mentioned, as long as FedEx cooperates, Agusa, the new Agusa Noir, which is the movie soundtrack, and the new one from Magic Brother, Mystic Sister, they're in transit to us, so they should hit here early next week. And I know a lot of people have been asking me about Agusa, and some people asking about the Magic Brother, Mystic Sister band that I really like. So yeah, that's what I got this week.
Cool. LaserCD.com is the link that'll be down below, along with the entire list that Ken showed off today. So copy and paste away. And of course, when you get onto LaserCD.com, what do they got to do, Ken?
They got to buy a lot, and they got to buy often.
Yeah, there you go. That's the mantra. Enjoy Aldemila tonight, my friend.
Thanks. If anybody's going to be there, Chad and I will be hanging out. Say hello.
Cool. So if you're in at the Keswick tonight or at the Paramount in Peekskill, you got SOT folks all over the place tonight, checking out live music. Come say hi and visit us on the web at www.seatranquility.org. We're on Facebook, we're on YouTube all together all the damn time. What do we got coming up here on the channel tomorrow is, of course, the review crew, Jamie Laszlo and company, reviewing a whole bunch of new albums tomorrow. Sunday, I will be ranking the albums of Lucifer, and then Monday, Hudson Valley Squares night once again. So till then, for Ken Golden, I'm Pete Pardo. Thanks for watching, everybody. See you next week here with more picks from the professor. and have a good weekend, everybody.
Take care.